Right. How's that? Yeah, we happy? All right. Have I done my checks? Check, 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 check. Alright. Hi, welcome to... I can't even tell you what episode of the Decompression Chamber this is. I've recorded this so many times. Not today, just over time. Nevertheless. My name is Mario. Good to be here. Good to be with you. Thank you for watching. And I'm going to start with an opening quote from the poet Edgar Allan Poe. And the quote goes, "I became insane, with long intervals of horrible sanity." Roll the intro. There you go, 5 seconds before the race. Before you have to say
Maybe said have the top two, and I ain't good second.
Yeah, that's the way it is sometimes. That's the way it is. Sometimes the world makes less sense when you feel like you got everything sorted out in your head. Sometimes the chaos and the craziness of life is genuinely beautiful and genuinely kind of wonderful. I'm someone that I experience a lot of anxiety, and with that anxiety comes a fear of the uncertain. If something is uncertain in my life, then my brain will predict many different ways of how it can go wrong and how I'm going to bring myself to that bad conclusion. When in reality, not only do bad things come from the uncertainty, but a lot of good things do as well. A lot of good things come from uncertainty. A lot of the best people in my life, I can recall a time where I didn't know them. A lot of the things that give me purpose and meaning. If you asked me 6 months ago, if you asked me a year ago, if you asked me 3 years ago, I would have no idea that those would be the things that I'd be most engaged with now. And that's incredible to me. That's wonderful. And yeah, it's. I often talk about that. Like I'm often struggling for balance. I'm struggling. I'm searching some sort of sense of peace and clarity and kind of unifying calmness. And sometimes it feels like I achieve it, and sometimes it feels, more times than that, it feels like I'm looking for it. I question to myself a lot whether there's a way that I can just be at peace with the chaos that surrounds me, be at peace with the chaos that's within me. Maybe the water doesn't have to be still on the surface for me to enjoy rowing on it. Not sure that analogy holds, but you know what I'm trying to say. And I do implement stuff in my life that kind of does have this in mind. Every morning when I get up, I go out onto my back patio and I make myself a hot drink, and I just look up at the sky. Apparently it's good for your brain. It's good for like your neurochemicals, and it kickstarts your kind of energy and awareness and alertness kind of neurochemicals, and helps set your circadian rhythm. There's a lot of good reasons for it, but what I try and do is I try and take it as an opportunity to take stock of my day, think about what I'm going to do, and think about how grateful I am for my life, because you don't get any of them back. You don't get a single day back. There are many days, many days that I feel lucky enough that I wish I could go back and relive them. But you can't. You can't, and you have to make sure you just enjoy it and appreciate it, each one you get, as difficult as that may be. Lord knows the last week, it hasn't necessarily been like I felt down, like sad kind of low. It's just I felt flat, like emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, just flat. Most days I wake up in the last week and I don't want to get up. And that's a strange feeling, because for a while I've had that feeling, I've had that hunger, had that kind of urge to be like, yes, this is my day, I'm getting up and I'm tackling it. And this last week it hasn't felt as much that way. I tell myself, I'm just going to lay in bed another 20 minutes. Maybe that 20 minutes turns into half an hour. Maybe that half an hour turns into an hour. Maybe that hour turns into, well, I fucked off this morning now, so I can only really get to work once I've had lunch, kind of thing. Sometimes that happens. And I question myself whether, when I'm feeling this way, whether the right approach is to, take note of how I'm feeling, absorb and process maybe the kind of underlying reasons, and to try and kind of sit with that and see where that leads me. And then conversely, you have the kind of approach of, well, it is more difficult to do the things that I normally want to do. That means it's that much more important for me to do those things, you know. Yes, it's difficult for me to get out of bed more so than before, but I still need to, so I need to put more effort into doing that, you know. Yes, it's difficult to approach my uni work because I just feel unmotivated. However, I need to be disciplined, and I need to kind of override that lack of motivation by keeping going. Or, you know, I could just skip the gym today. I'm really not feeling it. Sometimes you do need to skip the gym because letting your body recover and relax and kind of rest is important for your overall well-being. But sometimes that's just my brain saying, skip it today. Things would be easier if you did that. And Lord knows, life is not good when I just do what's easy. That's unfortunate. That's the unfortunate reality of my life, is that if I stay in my comfort zone, and if I stay doing the things that I want to do, 100% are easy to do, are right there available, then I stay the same person. And if anything, I recede. You know, I recede to a previous version of myself that's all I ever did. You know, I'm genuinely, like, I look back and I'm genuinely proud of the progress I've made. I'm still a very flawed, very kind of, I'd consider myself half-baked as a person. I've still got a lot of stuff that needs fixing. I still got a lot of stuff that needs sorting. I still got a lot of stuff that needs improving. But I look back now and I recognize the progress I've made as a person. Yeah, a lot of that progress has come. It's not stuff that I've been aware of. It's you know, I had a conversation with my friend, shout out Jamal if you're watching. I was having a conversation with him about how a lot of times learning experiences, I don't really feel like I'm learning while I'm doing it. At least I'm not present and I'm not aware of it, you know. So this was in the context of us being film students. Sometimes if I'm on a film project, I'm focusing so much, all right, so we've got to get this location, or this is the kind of shots that we want. How's this going to look in the edit? Oh, okay, we've shot everything. Now we've got to edit it together. Okay, now we've edited it together. We've got to make the sound good. Now that we've made the sound good, we've got to make the colors good. Okay, now everything's done. And then once you're done, you're like, okay, I can put that behind me. And it's only once you've done all of that, you move on to another project, or maybe you have some time off or whatever, only then do I really realize what I've learned. Only then do I really realize, do I kind of notice and take stock of the improvement that I've made. And so what I try and incorporate that into my life is that we have learning moments that we're not aware of. We have moments of development that we're not aware of. We change, we improve, we master our lives in ways that we may not be aware of. And I think it's important to kind of take note and appreciate these moments or these processes of learning, because to some extent or another, you gotta hope that that's what we're on this earth to do, or that's what puts us in the position that we're in. You know, I'm not too much like our biology determines exactly how we should live, but the reason why we're the most dominant species our planet has ever known is because we adapt, because we learn, and we do that together. It's a powerful thing. You know, I'm the most formative experience of my entire life, I would say, being at university. Maybe not my entire life, but my adult life, and kind of what feels like, in terms of the most formative experience in terms of my own self-actualization, I would say that it's been university. And part of that experience is that I don't learn alone. Well, I do learn alone, but most of my learning is done in a group. Most of my learning is done in collaboration with others. Most of my learning is done, it's not just me thinking, oh yeah, well, now I know that better. It's like a process together. It's like, yeah, you know, it's being part of a team and being part of different teams, and looking back and thinking, how did we do well? How did we not do well? What were the factors? How do we do better next time? And a lot of that stuff I think would be helpful if I extrapolate that overall to my overall life. You know, there is stuff that I look back and I think, I could have done that better. And there's sometimes I don't do anything to correct that, and then the same issue comes back to bite me. Lord knows, I'm sure it's the same for others. but yeah, that's something that's been on my mind recently. It's kind of crazy that we just get to the end of January like that. Yeah, it's kind of just crazy to me. Life gets hectic. Life gets hectic. And it's good hectic. It's good, but like I think it's one of those things again where it's that Ferris Bueller quote that if you don't stop and smell the roses, life might just pass you by. And that's what I try and make these videos for. It's like a kind of a reminder. It's like it's me clawing my hands into reality, going, hold up, wait. I want to take a moment and pause. I want to take a moment and think. I want to take a moment and let's just create a snapshot of now. Even if I can't make now stay still, even if I can't make now last longer than it already does, in a way I am, because I'll look back and I'll think, this is what I was feeling, this is what I was thinking at, 21 years old on the 31st of January 2023. That's how I felt. The reason why I've recorded a lot of these videos in the past month, I wouldn't say a lot, I'd say six or seven. And every time I watch them back, I realize there's too much personal information, or I didn't quite come off in the way that I wanted to. And I try to be as truthful and as honestly represent how I'm feeling and how I'm doing in these videos, because it wouldn't be worthwhile otherwise. It wouldn't be rewarding to me. It wouldn't feel genuine. It wouldn't kind of be an honest communication of what the kind of mission statement of this podcast aims to do. But that being said, there are parts of myself that I don't feel comfortable sharing, and it's difficult to understand where to draw that line. I'm okay admitting things that I'm insecure about. I'm okay admitting things that make me unsure or anxious, or things that worry me. But there are just certain aspects of my life that they don't feel appropriate to share with others. Not even share with others, share freely in the way that I do here. I'm lucky enough that there's people that I feel like I can come to when I've got an issue that I just want to share with one person, and I know that if I just share that with them, it's staying that way. Sometimes you need that. And sometimes these issues, I might bring them to certain people for certain reasons. We've relate on a certain note, or we've talked about it before, or just the kind of the region of my life that person occupies. And that's not to say that I have any more or less appreciation for the different roles those people take. It's just the only analogy I can really think of right now is that certain sounds can only be made by certain instruments, and if you want that vibration, you've got to go to that instrument. But yeah, I'm out here appreciating my life. I'm out here being grateful because I relish being grateful even when it's difficult. That's one of my favorite things, is it's thinking about all the good stuff in my life, because there's a lot of it, and I think gratitude, I don't just do it because it is genuinely the best approach to life, in my opinion, or the best approach for me to live my life. Gratitude is important because it's the opposite of taking things for granted. It's taking note of things that are good in your life, taking note of like all of that stuff, and I kind of just folding it back in. It's kind of like when you add ingredients to like a kind of a mix or a batter, you're kind of just folding gratitude right back in, and I think it makes everything so much sweeter. And again, maybe that's something that I need to be doing more. Is I talked about a few episodes back, is that the new frontier of gratitude, searching for new, rather than just relying on those same things that I am lucky for, that I do rely on, that are genuine kind of anchor points to my reality. I need to be looking for more. I need to be looking for new and undiscovered and unappreciated sources of gratitude in my life, because it's my belief that you can be infinitely grateful. I do believe that you can be infinitely grateful, and so I don't believe that I've achieved that. And it's not to say that necessarily I ever will. It's not to say that I aim to, but if I haven't, then I can always be more grateful. Ties back into the channel name. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, but I'm always grateful. I'm always, And it's no coincidence to me, in my opinion, that oftentimes the things that I'm most grateful for are related to the people in my life. Because yeah, a lot of the joy and the source of happiness and the kind of sense of reward I get from my daily living is mediated and communicated to and communicated by the people that I hold dear to me. You know, that's just the way it is. That's the way we are as people. We're tribal. We're social. And I think I noticed that. There might be periods. I've been doing alright with it recently, but there'll be periods where naturally, for whatever reason, I'll spend a lot of time alone, and sometimes I deal with that well, and sometimes I don't. And having that relationship, that understanding with yourself, is again another thing that needs to be cultivated, developed, and again need to be grateful for, because there was a time in my life where I felt ashamed to be me. I just felt distasteful towards myself, like a distinct sense of shame about myself, and it's hard to exactly pinpoint, and I might have to do a whole episode unpicking that if I felt comfortable, but I think I just didn't really value myself. I didn't really see what was special in me. I didn't really understand who I was, or why that was important, or what necessarily I brought to people's lives, or I brought to the world that was different to anyone else. I used to think of myself as interchangeable or expendable, or unimportant, like genuinely. And I know that's not true. I know intellectually there are people in my life that constantly prove that otherwise, but I didn't feel that way about myself. I felt like less than. I felt insufficient. And sometimes I still feel that way. It won't be for long. It won't be extended. It won't feel as genuine as it used to. It won't feel like it reaches all the way to the center of my being. But those thoughts still kind of bubble to the surface. Those thoughts, those kind of insecurities, those feelings of inadequacy, they exist. They're in that hot magma underneath the crust of my consciousness, and sometimes when there's a small crack in my consciousness, the pressure's off, the volcano erupts, and lava's everywhere. And my brain supplies me with all the things that I don't like about myself, all the reasons to not believe in myself, all the reasons to feel negative about myself. And that for me often is the toughest battle. I'm lucky enough to have not really faced any major life crises in any way, but that's the main one that I fight. The battle for self-actualization, self-appreciation, self-love is difficult. I feel like we're in a world, we're in a society that makes it difficult, and I tell myself that these feelings of insecurity and inadequacy, I can only overcome them by being kind and caring to myself. That's the way I've got to be. I've got to treat myself like I'm worthy. I've got to treat myself like I'm valuable. I've got to treat myself like I would if I was trying to take care of someone, because I think we can all do better to take care of ourselves. I think we all can. It's difficult. It's difficult, but there are ways, and everybody's going to need a different approach, and Lord knows it's complicated and it's difficult, and often you need other people's help, but I think that it's important to have that desire within to think, I don't just want to be a better person, I want to feel better about myself. I want to feel more confident and be glad for who I am, and look back, and I want the future version of me. I want 26-year-old Mario to look back at 21-year-old Mario and think, yeah, he didn't have it all figured out. He was a little bit out to lunch, but I'm still proud of him. I'm happy for the person that I was. If that version of me in 5 years' time watches this video, and I wonder what you're thinking. I wonder how much you relate to what I've been saying. I wonder if you're still going through the same problems that I'm going through now, whether those get bigger or smaller. I wonder what you're up to. I wonder if you're enjoying life, because I'm enjoying it now. Things aren't always easy, but I am enjoying it. I'm making the most of it, and I wonder what you'll think of watching this video. Just know that I'm taking care of myself, not just for me now, but for you. Because I know that when you're watching this, you'll think, man, I'm glad he did that. I'm glad he was watching out for me, because yeah, others are as well. So yeah, to all the people that are watching, including potentially future me, I love you a lot. Take care of yourself. Be grateful for what you have, and be open to the idea that things can get better, because hope keeps me afloat. Gratitude is the attitude. Let's fucking go.
My steamer is broke. Fuck the bleach, I'm peak at the soul. Peace never know what's about to occur, but my zen getting rolled at the turn of your